EJ middle name?
Jamal.
Oh, okay. The J.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I was like, Elias Jr. Ain't nobody else named Elias. That don't make sense.
Yeah.
Make it make sense, JB.
Nah, that's me. Welcome to the rundown, y'all. What's going on?
What it do?
Going on, right?
You got it. Slow motion. Straight loafing.
Straight loafing?
Not right this second. This particular second.
This particular
Yeah,
second?
this particular second. You know me, man. I work hard out here.
You do, bro.
You
do. Yeah, man, let's get into this rundown, man. We this Herschel Walker, was this is something recent? It's something
Yeah,
recent.
no,
he said, right?
this was like last week.
Okay. Talking about
He was like addressing Congress or somebody like.
Yeah, it's I don't me personally, I don't have a problem with the conservative thought process, but I think Herschel is kind of going a little too far with the. We said black people shouldn't get reparations, right?
Being somebody who considers themselves conservative, how do you feel about black people getting reparations?
No, I believe it's a real thing. I think we should. I'm for it. Like, even given conservative perspective, like, there's no way you can negate what happened years ago. And then when you look at other groups of people, the Jews, Germans, Asians, like, they all have got some get back at some point. So it's like,
and like, we ain't even got to deal with what other countries have done, but during World War II, when they had the internment camps for Asian Americans, and it wasn't just Japanese Americans, it was anybody who they perceived to or looked to be that looked of Asian ethnicity, were thrown into those internment camps. And it's like, okay, I'm not Japanese, like I'm Filipino, or I'm Taiwanese, or I'm Chinese, or I'm Korean.
yeah,
But you know, the ignorance of the mindset is like, oh, well, you look Japanese to me, so you're gonna go in this camp. Everybody that they put into those internment camps received financial compensation. Mm-hmm. Although Native Americans did not, I don't think, get the full due that they deserve. Like, they don't pay taxes.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if they want to go to college, they pay nothing. If you can prove that you are of Native American descent, you don't pay anything. Because it's like, we stole y'all's land.
Right.
We oppressed your people. So it doesn't make up for it, but this is to let you know that we acknowledge that we were wrong in this situation. Even so much so to the point now,
that's a real thing?
Yeah, that's real.
That's
real.
In the USA?
Yes, that's real.
Wow.
And even to the point now where any team that has a name that could be offensive to Native Americans or indigenous, people, they've taken away, like, team names that the Indians and the Redskins, like, because again, it's your way of saying we're wrong.
Right.
When the Italians were killed in Louisiana, I believe it was in the it was either the late 1800s or early 1900s.
Uh-huh.
Like, they received financial compensation for that. Like, anytime Jews have been oppressed over here, they got back financial compensation for it. And then when you see, even when Dr. King did one of his last speeches where he talked about how land grants were given to people who came from other countries,
right,
to go west, and then they built colleges out there for them. And that's where you get like an A&M college, because one of the A is agriculture. You taught people how to farm the land and how to cultivate the land so they could build their own wealth. But like, we're more, outside of Native Americans, we're almost just as indigenous as anybody else. Like we were here longer than the Italians, than the Dutch, than the Scots and the Irish. We were over here longer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but what do we have to show for it? And so, like, you, in marriages, when people dissolve a marriage, like, you can get money for pain and suffering.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we have this, like, people have to go to therapy because we suffer from PTSD.
Yeah.
Like how many times? Think about it. You know where you stay at. You know when you drive and you see them blue lights, will you instantly, even if it's not you, you
Mm-hmm.
don't keep driving like, oh, I'm not doing. You
Right.
instantly check,
You
and
look
you
at
always you
you.
got you ride with your kids all the time. You make
Yeah.
sure that seatbelt on, but like you're
Yeah.
checking to make sure the seatbelt on. Got my wallet out,
Yeah.
you know, because I don't want them to say I'm reaching for anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, um, like you said, I think it's due. You know,
Yes.
and that's
I
what it
th-
is.
I think at some point it will happen just because of the move that we're in now with, quote unquote, all this racism, and you know what I'm saying. I just think a lot of stuff is going to kind of come to the light. Like I remember, I think on the prophecy episode, and I talked about some of the prophecies and stuff I was listening to, and when I listened to some of those white evangelical, I think they're always talking about just the corruption that happened with the election. Like I think that's easy. I do think it was corruption in the election, but I think God exposes corruption from the root. A lot of it is going to have to deal with us and how we've been treated and how it's going to flip the church upside down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty much what I believe, because this is kind of going away, but I don't know if you saw the thing with Malcolm X came out as an investigation. Raymond Wood, he was a police officer that helped kill Malcolm X, and he just recently passed. And he had a letter that he wanted his brother to read, not until he died. And it came out with all this stuff detailing what happened and that it wasn't his intention, but they tricked him into doing certain things. But the end result was to get Malcolm X. Like stuff like that, I think is gonna get exposed. And so I think when the white evangelical people talking about the prophecies, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna, expose stuff to the root, talking about America, the election and stuff like that. I think that's a part of it, but I think a lot of it is gonna be in regards to us.
Yeah, I mean, but and one thing a lot of white evangelicals don't want to acknowledge is that a lot of the abolitionists back in the 1800s, the white abolitionists who said that this is not godly,
Hmm.
like they were looked down upon
Uh-huh.
by some of these same people that birthed these white evangelicals, and so that's why it's so hard now. And I, I did this when I was doing my car chronicles, but I said, shame on you if you
Uh-huh.
say that you believe this book to be true, but you can see this injustice happen and you say nothing. You don't get up and say this is wrong, and you got black people in your congregation that say, hey, look, this is wrong.
Uh-huh.
I can't apologize for what nobody else did, but I want you to know that me and my house, we don't stand for this, and this is wrong.
Right. And that's
And we can't feel your pain, but we're with you.
mm-hmm.
And so if you marching, we supporting you. If you protesting, we supporting you. If you feel some type of way, we got your back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so like that's
Yeah.
what not to give spoilers to Snow. You watch Snowfall?
Not as much as
Oh,
I've
you got to
been.
get up
I
on it. But
know, I know.
it's
I
it's
watched
it's
it before
not
though.
to give spoilers away, but like it's a part in there, and it's in the fourth season where like he realizes like, man, it's good to have somebody that got your back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like if I've been rocking with you from day one,
Uh-huh.
it's good to know that you got my back, and I think that that's what's been missing. Um, but going back to the original rundown topic of that, I do believe that black people deserve reparations. I
Yes.
think that Herschel Walker is one of the top 10 running backs of all time.
Yeah, he was cold. He played for my
Yeah, I was
Cowboys
gonna
for a
say, yeah,
minute.
he's one of the greatest Cowboys of all time.
Yep.
Gave my 49ers headaches for years.
Yeah.
A phenomenal football player. Where did he go
Mm-hmm.
to college at? Georgia.
Georgia. Georgia.
Okay, SEC.
Yeah.
One of the greatest SEC players of all time.
Yeah.
Has done great humanitarian work as
Yeah.
far as his views. I think that is coonish
Yeah.
and buffoonish. Uh, I mean, at this point, like I'm just presidential. I ain't necessarily got a platform or anything, but
Yeah,
I
yes,
said
you
what
do.
I
This
said.
is the
I mean,
platform.
but I'm
We
just
got
saying I said what I said.
right,
So you know
right,
what I'm saying? And even if he can whoop me at the end of the day, I
right,
said what I said. When
right,
you get through, I ain't smoking. Like I'm still talking when you in the room,
right,
and you can hit me again. But I said what I said.
right.
So it is what it is. Um,
Yep.
but yeah. So what we got next?
Man, you know what it is. Kim and Kanye. Kim and Kanye. It's I guess a news report out there that they're getting a divorce. I don't know if it's already the proceedings have already happened, but they were supposed to get a divorce. Like, are you surprised by that?
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like
So he's worth what? So many billion
billion,
supposedly.
couple billion, so you said.
So I guess he's gonna be worth about 450 million now.
Something like
She
that.
gonna get
Oh,
half,
she
at
gonna get
least
it.
half,
They got
and
what, three,
then
four kids?
four,
They got
and
four.
then
Yeah,
because I want to say they got there's a boy and a girl and twins, right?
twins. I think they got twins. Yeah,
So
yeah,
she gonna get half,
yeah.
and then you still gotta fund her lifestyle. Like she gonna get alimony, she gonna get child support. Like
You would think she
to
would
me,
lighten
I
up a
would
little
think
bit on that.
if somebody gave you, and I don't give a look, if I'm worth $1 billion and you get half, and I mean, and I got kids with you, like I love my kids are gonna be straight.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if I give you $500 million, what alimony,
Yeah.
what child support?
She was.
Like you should be straight. Like you did nothing but said I want to leave.
Yeah. Did they say like give a reasoning? You know what I'm saying? Did I hear a reasoning part? I'm not sure if I heard like okay, they just irreconcilable differences type of
I
thing.
mean, like for me,
Um, let me see.
I think he's kind of had it coming.
Yeah.
And this is no knock against him. You know, we did an episode talking about mental health. That's real.
Yeah.
Um, he's been on a spiral since at least what 08, probably
Yeah.
before then.
Since his mom passed,
I
really.
mean, so that's been like you've
Yeah, for
been
a
going, and
while.
then they've been together
Yeah.
for a minute. And I mean, think
Yeah.
about all the meltdowns that he had, like when him and Jay-Z had the falling out. Of course, he wasn't with Kim when he did the Taylor Swift thing.
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
think
no. He was with
it wasn't Amber Rose then, was it?
Yep, it was Rose.
Oh, okay.
It was Rose. Yeah, because
So
she was at the thing. Actually, I got the article said okay, Kim Kardashian has filed divorce from Kanye West after almost 7 years of marriage, but the sources say it's an amicable
amicable.
amicable as a divorce can be. So Kim is asking for joint legal and physical custody of the couple's 4 kids. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Kanye is fine with the joint custody arrangement, and we're told both Kim and Kanye are committed to co-parenting. There's a prenup, and we're told neither party is contesting it. In fact, our sources say they are already far along in reaching a property settlement agreement. So, kind of there you have it. Like I said, just for that sake, I hope that divorce, if it's true, will be done, peacefully and like Kim, she
Painlessly.
painlessly, and Kim is already, wealthy without all this stuff. So I'm just like,
I
man,
mean, because you got to think about it, because she's actually really good at.
capitalizing
Well, I
on,
mean, she's really talented at.
yes, marketing,
She's really gifted in. She has a lot of skill in.
yeah, herself.
So basically, she's just famous for being famous.
Yeah, she is. She is. She's.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I have not seen her get with, like, oh, Kim, this is regular nigga. No, you're with Reggie Bush. You're with Ray J.
AJ.
You're with uh Chris Humphries.
Chris Humphries. Yeah,
You're
yeah, that's
with
the one she got married for
yeah.
for a week, whatever it was.
You're with Kanye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
you're famous for being
Yeah.
famous.
Right.
Now again,
She
I ain't
breaks the
mad at
internet.
nobody hustle.
Right.
Get your money.
Yeah.
But don't insult my intelligence and act like if you was to disappear, it's gonna be the next chick with big titties and a big booty, and you know what I'm saying, that we love.
Right.
And I'm not. I ain't got no. I ain't got a. I stay in a lavish glass house. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Right.
you throw a piece of tissue in that joint, it's coming down.
Ah.
I'm not hating on nobody, but let's just be realistic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not act like you created this album that gets people through pain, or you painted this picture that when I look at, I just see the beautiful colors on the tapestry, or you wrote this speech that got people fired up. Like, let's not act like you do. You know what I'm saying? And again, okay, well, oh, she, got these people free from prison or what? Okay, yeah,
Right.
but that's
That
only
was
because
a
you
good
used
deed. Yep.
your influence from being famous.
Right. Yeah. She used it for the good on that.
Like, we forget Martin Luther King Jr. was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like, Malcolm X was a social activist. He did things in the community. The Black Panthers did things in the community. Like, these were people who were not just famous for existing. They did things before they got the things that they did got them notoriety, not who they did.
Right. Yep.
Because if that was the case, like, I should be world famous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was the case, like, depending on who you ask, like, you done been in the room before. You done seen, somebody I ain't seen in years. The hug I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you was there.
Yeah.
And all y'all looked at me like, hey, how you know her? Like,
Yeah.
but again, I don't use that. Maybe I should have put a video out of myself or something, and then
Hey.
be real presidential.
Yeah. That would be super
You know.
presidential with that. So, again, Kanye, Kim, wish them well with that. But it's, obviously it's not surprising. But again, it is from who they are and stuff, and the culture and stuff. It is news. So that is what it is. And another thing that you brought to my attention, an Illinois rep, said he wanted to ban violent video games to reduce carjackings in, I guess, in Chicago. And the man's name, I believe, is Representative Marcus C. Evans Jr., Democrat, mind you. But yeah. So that's interesting by itself. Like, for me, I think that this is it's silly. It ain't no kind of silly. I think it's beyond silly. Not just thinking that in Chicago, if you somehow ban these, I guess, what, Grand Theft Auto-ish, type of games or something like that.
Let me ask you something. You got four, and they all are. You have no preteens.
Right.
Actually, none of them. EJ's what, kindergarten?
Yep.
First grade? Yeah. So you kindergarten and younger.
Yep.
They watch rated R movies?
No.
Why not?
We don't allow them to.
Okay. I know you know who. I know you know who Dolphy is, and Pooh Shiesty, and of course my guy Gotti.
Yeah.
Black Youngster. I know that's stuff we can listen to. We right. Do your kids listen to that?
No.
Why not?
I do not allow them to do that.
Okay. What about I know we've seen and watched like games like Grand Theft Auto or God of War or Call of Duty, or your kids play that? Why not?
Hey, for one, we don't have one of those systems in the house. For two, obviously they wouldn't be allowed to get on those games. Period.
So I think the problem is, and again, it's no such thing. I mean, at a certain point, we have knowledge and know better, but inherently, it's no such thing as bad children. It's only bad parents and bad situations. And so from our bad parents or our bad situations, then we become bad people. Now, granted, it's in us, I believe, to be mischievous.
Right.
Because we're always, when somebody say, don't push the button, don't touch that, it's something to say.
Right. Let me see what they do.
And then check this out. I don't know if you remember, but like as a kid, like even stuff that I shouldn't, nobody had to tell me not to tell. It was stuff that I shouldn't.
Right.
But I'd be looking at it and I was like, I wonder what would happen if I. But that was the curiosity. That was the
Right.
mischievousness. But just, I want to hurt myself. That didn't exist.
Right.
It was just the curiosity of why can't I do this or what will happen if I do this. But it wasn't because I was bad. These video games and things of that nature are not causing kids to do these things. And if anything, as a parent, if you don't want your kids to listen to certain music, to um, to watch certain TV programs, like for a long time, and my daughter would tell you, like I didn't start listening to certain music with her around till she got to be a certain age. But then we could sit up and have a conversation about the music, and we could say, okay, do you know what that means? Do you know what they're saying? So what do you think about that?
Right.
So as long as you understand, if you understand that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're gonna listen to it anyway when I'm not around.
Right.
But I at least want you to have an understanding. But now when you're in kindergarten, first, second grade, like no, you don't, because you don't have a clue.
Yeah.
You just doing what everybody else doing. So no, you can't. When you're around me, no, you can't. And this is why we don't. You know, and when I would ask her, like, you know, or she would ask me rather, why can't I? Because, well, you know what that mean? All right, then. Well, when you find out what it mean, then we can listen to it. Till then, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Yeah. I think that it's just misplaced control. Like I think even if you want to eliminate or ban those violent video games, you know what I'm saying? You're not addressing the problem. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You're not doing, like, that's not gonna do it. Obviously, everything starts at home. Then you have other communal things that you can do as a community. You know what I'm saying? Other than like a video game. You know what I'm saying? Then what else in that line could you ban if it's just to reduce the carjack? You had to take off some YouTube stuff, or you know what I mean? Like
Dude, if we
I
went
don't
back,
get
if
I
that's
don't
the
get that.
case, TV shows like our grandparents and stuff watch Gunsmoke and
Yeah.
Bonanza
Right.
and Wild Wild
Wild
West.
Wild West.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like they watch shows like that. If you remember, we was growing up. I remember being little kids, like, and I remember this is the only reason my dad would let us watch the 18, like the 18 reruns would come on,
18.
and he was like, "Y'all can't watch it because it's too violent." Now keep in mind, you know me, I was a little sharp,
Yeah.
so they's like, "It's too violent. They always shooting." I said, "But Dad, nobody gets shot."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then he's like looking, it's like all the gunshots, the car flipping over. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But nobody like
Nobody.
caught a bullet. It's just,
Yeah.
and most of the action was Mr. T throwing somebody, you know, them punching or whatever. But nobody actually got shot with a gun. And so when I said that, he was like, "Oh, you got a point." Okay. So but again, and that was just, I was a very intellectual child. But again, certain stuff we could not watch. You know what I'm saying? And it was even certain movies, if it was a level of violence or something, they would watch it with us. But they were with us and we were having conversations. It was times where they would pause, old school VCR, they would pause you know what I'm saying, the videotape or whatever, and we would actually talk about what was going on. So my reality wasn't warped, because I watched the Terminator or whatever. It's like, okay, when I go to school, I know that was a movie. It's
Yeah.
not real. You know what I'm saying? I can't go out here and do this stuff that I saw on TV. And so if we watch movies like, I remember being a kid watching Colors and Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, and those resonated because growing up in South Memphis and Raleigh, like you saw a lot of that stuff. But again, it was like, okay, we're gonna talk about it. Why did this happen? Why did this person get into that? And it goes back to the parenting. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember when Grand Theft Auto came out. Like, I was still a teenager when Grand Theft Auto 3 was the big one on PS2 came out. But like, it didn't make me want to go and rob nobody or carjack nobody. And the niggas I knew that did that, if they did it, it wasn't because of Grand Theft Auto 3. It's because this 9 to 5 ain't paying me enough.
Right.
You got it. I want it. I need it. And it's easier to take yours than to work and get it.
Yeah.
And going back to the reparations, I didn't come up in wealth. I came from nothing. I have nothing. My folks passed me on nothing.
Yeah.
And I need to eat or I need to get from point A to point B. Like, that is what creates What's crazy is though nobody talks about all these billionaires that's committing crimes.
Yeah.
What's your reason? You got money. You don't need to, rape, pillage, rob, hurt people who work for you.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your reason? What's your excuse? I understand the man that can't feed his family or the man that can't get around.
yeah.
Your lights about to get cut off. I understand that. You're a billionaire. What's your excuse?
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. I just, it's ludicrous, as I like to put it. With that, I don't see a reason to even to do anything with that, with any banning any video games, man. So, again, Representative Marcus Evans, you know what I'm saying. You get the thumbs down over here.
Cooning.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's definitely not. That ain't gonna do what you think it's gonna do, bro. So, but all right, y'all. That's it for the rundown. We will see y'all again